Hey, hey, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry about the little bit of grey in the bottom there. There we go. It's all working. Hello, players. How's it going?
Hello. Greetings.
Hello, hello.
Greetings. I see we have some opacity issues. I'll work on them while you guys are busy role-playing. One of our players will be joining us shortly, so that's okay, because I have a very brief little bit of nattering to do before we get started. As you can see, we're currently in the town square. Sighard about to have a little bit of a... What is this? A town meeting? Who knows? We'll find out what it is. It could just be a riot. Either way, it'll be a hoot. I'm excited. But, yeah, we got all the Baldricks here today, so that's great. A little bit of an intro for second season. There may be a very slight change in tone on occasion. I'm going to try and inject a little bit more Warhammer atmosphere into here, so if you're like, yeesh, that's gone sort of dark all of a sudden, well, yes. Last season was very much a race through plot, and some of my players are now a little bit more experienced with the rules, as well as the setting and TTRPGs as a whole, so now I can bully them a bit more. Sighard won't be bullied any more than he was.
I don't believe that at all.
No, lies and slander. But I will be picking on some of the others as well, because their incomes have increased in-game. We've had the intro last week. I'd strongly recommend you check out. And welcome back to Yodicus, who has just fixed his...
Drawing
I'm
board.
going to use the word dongle, because it's a great word. So, I believe today we have, on market day, as per usual, the group having a day off of work. Sighard has arranged to spread his joyous cheer to the masses, perhaps to educate them on his plans for the town. The poor folk are gathered outside right now, Sighard. Not all of them, many are busy working, but those, at least, who are interested are in front of you. You have a group of muddy, filthy-looking peasants in scraps of clothing, currently stood there looking somewhat gormless at you, sort of waiting for you to speak.
Do we have Yodicus back?
I am here.
Yeah. I'll let you do the intro.
Ladies and gentlemen of the town of Tom, I am pleased to announce that the noble Sighard, who has helped save this town from the depths of heresy, is now available to present to you his great plan for the future of our community. And above and beyond that, to listen to your concerns, because we all know just how much he values your concerns. My noble cousin, if you would.
Thank you much. Well, citizens of Tame, we've come through quite a bit here, and we've seen some hardships, and there's probably going to be more on the horizon, I'm not going to lie. But we've already started rebuilding. We cleared out some of that forest so that we don't have any more beastmen jumping walls. We've gotten some farmland started up, and hopefully we'll be bringing in some business here soon. But till then, we got to keep repairing what we got. We got some new members of the community. We got a couple of priests of Sigmar that have taken over the temple that we worked on. And some other people have stayed on. So I would like to hear if any of y'all have some complaints.
One arm instantly goes up.
Yeah, of course. Yep. Sir?
My lord, sir, who are you?
I have been given control of the town after the recent incursion by beastmen and the expulsion of the cult that was here. So my name is Sighard, as you Yodicus here is explained. I sort of some of you had to have seen me around town in the months leading up to the latest catastrophe.
Old lady at the front tugs on the sleeve of what looks to be her son. Why does he sound funny? He's got a weird voice. He sort of shoves her away a little bit and tries to quiet her in front of you. All right then, sir. Lord, thing. And the gentleman attempts to bow a little bit. Another man steps forward, this time looking somewhat flustered and frustrated. My lord, I have a matter most grievous for you.
Yes, sir.
I take it that was Thor rubbing his eyebrows. My lord,
Yeah.
I have been a beggar in this town for some 30 years. And I have worked my way up from over outside the gate, over to the pond, and now I have found myself a peg. And this cretin has taken it from me. And he points over to an individual next to him. He replies, no, I haven't. Yes, you have. You stood right in it. No, I'm not. That's my peg. The two of them instantly break out in a scuffle. The crowd start cheering.
Do you want me to resolve it my way?
This is my peg, you scoundrel! No, it's not.
Sighard, would you like me to get their attention?
If you would, there, Master River Warden.
I'll fire my pistol into the air.
You're firing your pistol in the air.
Think a third.
Okay. It's not being fired at them.
No.
But
not
I'm
at them.
still going to roll a cool check. Okay. Five of them go running. The rest of them freeze on the spot and sort of bow down in a on the floor, scared for their lives sort of pose, faces down into the dirt.
Ladies and gentlemen, can we avoid such senseless acts of violence? My thanks to you, Master Wilford.
You're quite welcome.
Do any of the peasants look badly injured?
If you have.
Difficult to see through the dirt, but you can roll me a perception test. Average.
If you have question about legalities, I believe DM. Did we say Rex was doing the?
Your bailiff will be tackling most of the minor squabbles.
All right. The bailiff was Fernando.
Fernando.
Is that right?
Another arm goes into the air. Younger looking gentleman.
Yes, sir.
Muddy with a leather flat
Yes,
cap
sir.
on his face and a particularly gormless look as he shuffles forward slightly. Sir, why does it keep waning?
Why does what keep waning?
Well, that, sir. And he points up.
What's he? I'll look towards.
I
the
do
direction.
believe he is asking why it is raining, sir.
Why it's raining.
Yes, sir.
Let's just say that that's a gift from the goddess Rhea to make sure that our crops have plenty of water.
The crowd instantly seem quite impressed. And a degree of nodding and amusement An acknowledgement of your wise words echoes among them. One other, with his arms crossed at this point, makes your eye contact. And are you going to be dealing with the ghosts?
I don't think any ghosts have been brought to my attention, but which ones are you referring to?
What? What was that?
I saw a ghost in the forest. The man to his left. No, you didn't. Yes, I did. It was shiny and white. No, it wasn't. Yes, it was.
All right. I want y'all to, after we're done here, you come up and talk to Godbert.
Yeah, you can tell me all about that. I'm sort of
He'll take your
Yeah.
he'll take your accounts.
yeah. Just a second. I'm an old man. I'm gonna take a piss. So just going around this old barn here. Oh my man, go on. Don't mind me. God damn it.
Okay. The gentleman who has been less argumentative steps forward and awaits, looks dismissively at the rather argumentative gentleman by his side, but awaits to converse with Godbert and looks somewhat smug that he has been acknowledged. The rest of them stood around rather quiet and gormless, yet again, waiting to be told what to do.
If there's anything else, you can take it to your respected Burgermeister and they can bring it to me. Or if you see us around town, you can say it to one of these individuals here. And I'll point to the people that are, Yodicus and and Gottfried and Lazarus and Wilfred and stuff like that. Continue about. We'll hopefully be able to bring in some more business. Find y'all some. We'll probably have a preemptive wash day coming up here very shortly.
Okay.
That sounds like a delightful idea, sir.
One of the gentlemen claps his hands several times. All right, you Abel, get back to your stations, back to begging. Come on, cups out. And they begin to return back to their usual duties.
I turn my back, to the door, so that my back's towards them, and I'm at the door. And I take a big swig of my flask, and put it back.
Contemplate what you have done in the first campaign.
Yeah.
Why? Why?
Yeah.
Okay.
Such delightfully productive peasants you have, sir.
Yeah, indeed. If only they could put their skills to better use. But hopefully we can work on that.
Indeed.
At this point, the crowd has dispersed. Godbert, how was your piss?
If there had been anyone able to see me, they would have seen me actually take a leak, indeed, but also take something out of my pocket and rub it into my eyes. And mumbling something, but I'm used to that because I'm always mumbling something, so it's old man mumbling.
Mm-hmm.
And then, apparently for the next 64 minutes I can do something. I'll leave it up to you, whatever that is.
For the next 64 minutes, you can do a thing. This is... Yeah, and
it's just a thing, yeah.
This is your commune thingy.
Yep.
Okay. You do have a gentleman there waiting for you to sort of give you some instruction as to what he saw. Lazarus by your side. Difficult to make out his facial expression. I assume do you have your mask on, Lazarus? He's been probably eating under his mask, chewing on something. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I said yes, I have my mask on.
Cool. Okay. With the crowd dispersing, Godbert, the gentleman informs you that he saw what he believes to be a ghoulite or a ghost. Roughly the figure of a person. out in the tree line.
Whereabouts did you see this particular apparition?
Points toward the outskirts where the loggers had been felling trees and states that he saw it but 2 nights ago. It looked like a person, and it was a spooky looking light as far as he's concerned, but his mother taught him well. He resisted any urge to investigate and returned to his begging.
What time of day was this? Was it in the nighttime or what?
Late eve. It was growing dark at the time, although not pitch black. There was a degree of moonlight afforded.
Could you see through it to some degree, or was it solid? Or...
For the distance he saw it from, which was at the town wall, he hasn't really much more detail other than it was a bit of a shiny thing over by the tree line. A light, but white and spooky looking, moving through the trees.
Yeah, so that's roughly where the right wall icon is.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's basically directly 10 o'clock on the map.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you. But you don't seem overly affected by it, other than reporting it. But you've seen these kind of things before?
No, sir. A voice from behind him goes, "Yes, you have." No, I haven't.
Take it that's your associate over there.
He's my brother.
Right. Yeah, I figured. So, yeah. Siggy, I think it's something we need to keep an eye on, because I've been going around town, and well, the other day, whatchamacallits, where is it on the map? Oh, there it is. Dancing lamb. They called me over. A lamb with 5 legs. And while I was there, they've got that farmhand, grown man with the mind of a child. I don't know, but still some residue from that weirdness you had going on there. So best keep an eye out on supernatural apparitions and stuff.
Now, what is Yodicus eyeing up at the moment?
Right now, he's listening to this conversation, seeing how much he's paying attention to it versus paying attention to the mob. He was trying to figure out if this guy believes what he's saying or whether he's just saying something.
Truthful and honest, and somewhat scared.
So he believes it.
Absolutely. He believes he saw a light, and he believes that it is a angry spirit. But you would assume that that is his interpretation of said phenomena. His description is vague enough to simply be a bright, tempting light.
Now, what are the customs towards the harvest and all you folks have here? Would I
He
know?
just sort of shrugs. I don't know.
Would Goddard know about stuff like that?
Yeah. I mean, you may have different traditions within your own towns, but you're a little ways from home, so you could probably have a good guess.
I
But
think Lady Yarla might be a good person to communicate with that.
yeah,
Oh, yeah. Well, if she was, not able to perform the rites, then the spirits of the field might have been, angry and upset. So it makes sense.
we mainly
There's
do
ritual
begging.
we could do.
Oh, maybe speak to Yawa.
Oh, I wasn't talking to him anymore. I'm just completely forgetting about it.
No, you shouldn't. Oi, you! Two of them start scrapping behind you, which I assume at this point is just ignored.
So I'd like
Master
very
Wilfred.
much to talk to this Jarla.
Yeah, we can get you to meet her. Master Wilfred, would you make sure those two gentlemen fighting over the pig talk to Mr. Fernando and get that situated before it turns into anything more?
I will absolutely make sure they talk to him. And I will waddle off after them.
What are you going to do to stop them fighting, Wilfred? What's your strategy here?
Well, you see, my
Don't break
strategy.
your collarbone, sir.
We're not breaking bones this time?
Not yet.
He needs his beggars intact.
So, here's what I'll do. I will talk to them to talk to, what was it, Fernando? You said?
Mm-hmm.
Or I'll threaten them by offering them a job. And as we all know, beggars don't want jobs.
At the... at the
Recruit them into the River Wardens.
at the drop of the word job, both of them instantly stop arguing. All right then. I guess we could. No, we... The guy pauses and sort of stops himself. Yes, we could. They both take a deep breath and head off in separate directions. Back
Looks
to...
like you got your first two recruits.
Well, either that or it got them to talk to the right people.
Yes, signor. You want me to get the guilders to come see the office?
See, Fernando.
Si, signor.
We'll head over there right now.
I will go get them to you one by one.
Sounds good. Thank you. Yeah, then I'll take another swig, turn around, and start walking towards the office.
It's going to be a long day, Yodicus. Time to check in with Lazarus. What's Lazarus make of all of this?
Probably a bit strange. All these questions and the arguments that are going on. He's just wondering what we have to do next, since Sighard's now in charge of the town.
Indeed. Okay. So Sighard and certainly Yodicus are headed off to the office. Sighard, are you inviting your full party with you?
I think before we even got there, we would have discussed it. They are more than welcome to, but if they want to mosey around town and check on people that maybe had not been there, like people that are actually working, and see how they're doing, if they need anything, that sort of thing. So I leave that up to those three. I mean, Yodicus doesn't have a choice.
Indeed.
It will be
Indeed.
delightful.
Lazarus and Wilfred, are you going to wait within the offices of Sighard to have the townfolk come to you, or are you going for a walk?
Oh, the town folk come to me.
Sounds mighty convenient. Wilfred, are you happy with said arrangement?
I was going to walk around town and put up flyers for the river wardens and talk to the people, but
Okay.
I put up flyers on the way to the offices.
Well, what we'll say is you'll probably miss the first individual that comes to have a chat with Sighard if you want to put a few flyers up now and have a little converse with a few people.
I'll have a little converse, put up a few flyers, and meet them on the second person.
Okay. We'll come back to you in a moment, Wilfred, and your arduous task. But for now...
Wilfred? Seems like a good idea.
we move over to the office. Wilfred, we will just hide you in the corner for now. Easily done.
Where halflings belong.
Ugh.
Damn right.
Right. And so, we can probably put something a little bit more relaxing on for a moment while you guys have a chat. And I figure out who's going to arrive in what order.
Cousin, have you been to Blute Rock since your little misadventure with the gentleman in the woods?
No, I have not.
We need to.
I passed through, but I haven't been able to meet up with Lord Sumpenhausen yet.
Have they been able to repair any of the damage? How are their efforts going?
Last I saw, they were only working on the relatively intact side of the river. I think the other side's probably still pretty damaged.
Well, the only thing this town has, aside from beggars, appears to be a functional carpentry guild and an awful lot of lumber, courtesy of your own decisions, which I applaud. But we have lumber, we have hands that need work. If they need new part of that village, well, seems like an easy fit to me.
Yeah, I agree. As long as it's not going to detract from rebuilding our own buildings, yeah, we can lease them out and get some extra business for them. Sounds good.
You want us to make way over there, or
Say again there, old Bert?
you want us to make way over there and, ask around?
In Blute Rock?
Yeah.
Well, we're not gonna be able to make that today. I don't believe.
Perhaps by evening, but it depends on who shows up and what other miseries they can tell us about.
Yeah, based on what we just saw earlier, I have a feeling it's gonna be a long day, but we can see how much time we are afforded.
Yeah, the good news is you have a lot more beggars than burgomeisters.
Yeah, well, we're gonna have to get them gainfully employed at some point.
There is a
You
knock on the
aren't
door.
kidding.
And a rather tentative but well presented Yarla peeps her head around. Safe to come in?
Oh, absolutely, ma'am. Come on in. And I'll stand up and go up to her. Lead her in.
Do you take her by the hand and sort of gentlemanly walk her 6 yards to the table? She still appreciates it.
Unnecessarily nice.
She curtsies and she gives you I would say friendly and cliched flirt as she pretends to be wooed by your chivalry. Thank you, my lord.
I just kind of laugh a little bit. Instead of sitting down, I'll just stand up, lean against the desk, so that we're kind of on equal terms for talking.
Apologies for not making it to the town. The beggars are not necessarily my forte. They're a colourful bunch.
Yeah. I understand. How can I help you today, ma'am?
Well, we are, as I understand, here to make requests.
Yes, ma'am.
If I may be so bold as to present a list, the dirt here does not lend itself well. Even with Raya's blessings, we are limited in what we can muster. A plough, or even tools, a few hoes even would not go amiss, and would save what few helpers I have their hands, as currently I'm spending the majority of my time tending to their wounds from picking at the dirt with their bare hands. So I do believe we can grow more. Ryer is helping,
Yes.
although
And looks towards you, Lazarus.
I'm sure the shrine has gone some ways to assisting with that. Without a temple, perhaps somewhat subdued, but her gaze is upon us.
I promised you a while back I would, as soon as we are able, I'll get you another temple started for sure. We will definitely look into it. If you want to give your list of needs here to Yodicus, I don't know if you've met Yodicus or Gottbert here. These are two gentlemen from known to my family. Yodicus will be kind of my right-hand man, and Gottbert's kind of my advisor at the time.
Nice to meet you, madam.
Likewise.
My dear, a pleasure.
A small nod is
If you can
afforded
get-
to the
if
two
want
of
to
you.
give if you want to give your list to Yodicus, he'll make sure that we'll do it as soon as we possibly can. That's one of our top priorities.
That is appreciated, and if I may, Lazarus, this is perhaps not the most cheerful time. There is a man in the town I believe is due to pass soon, and if you could perhaps deliver him something to ease. I've not been able to help, and, well, it seems it's time for him to move on, but if there's anything you can do to ease it or such, then here's the third house on the right, next to the fishing guild.
Herbs I have in stock. To it.
Now, pack some strong ones, but try to bless the gentleman, but no joy. Thank you for your time, my lord.
I have a question for you, my lady.
Of course.
When's the last time any of the usual harvest rituals and such were performed? You know,
Well, it's just myself now. There used to be 5 of us, but I'm doing what I can. I would go so far as saying the last season in particular was... I was remiss in my duties, but I am endeavouring to compensate. An extra
Well,
priestess would not go amiss, though, should you come across...
well, I will certainly keep an eye out, but in the meantime, I will offer my own services. From the place I'm from, I'm in a small place, and we don't have any official priest, so I'm sort of a jack of all trades and that sort.
Perhaps we can exchange blessings sometime.
And gives you a little smile and a respectful sort of wink.
Yeah, well, then wiggle my thumb, my nose out.
Wonderful.
My lady,
Oh boy.
if I may, before you depart, a question. This lack of tools, am I given to understand that the prior lord was not able to provide these items for the farmers at his own gate?
In truth, not many had asked for some time. The first year there were occasional requests, but normally met with silence, and thus it seemed better to make do with what the gods had given us rather than to perhaps invite the wrath of someone whose attention was elsewhere, seemingly on rather heretical things.
Duly noted.
I will
Yeah,
have to
we
get
will.
going. Well,
I will talk to. I'll talk to Setup and see if we can get some work for you or get some tools for you, man.
wonderful. Wonderful. Well, do take care. Ta-ta.
Yeah, thank you.
She's off. You've probably got a minute or two before the next one comes in.
Door closes, and I go back to my seat and sit down and be like, "Oh, that was an easier icebreaker than I was expecting."
Is that the woman who owes you her life?
Yeah, more or less.
Interesting.
She's been in this town for longer than most people, so it's as much her town as it is to anybody else's right now. So,
Point well taken. I'll see what we can do. Maybe I'll get with the dwarf master, or maybe his master gives me other items to speak with Blutrock about. Perhaps we can take agricultural tools and trade, but the neglect of the prior administration is, well, if I would surprised by it, I'd call it distressing, but at this point it's just confirming my opinions, none of which were very kind to begin with.
yeah, I have no nice words.
Imagine you don't.
We
I
have
look at his
We
scar
will
on
see
his
what kind of
face.
fun.
his impressive scar.
I just kind of rub at it.
We move over to Wilfred for a moment as he is currently dotted around town. Wilfred, you are not there. You are here. I'll move everyone over, but Wilfred, in the back alleys. How goes the recruitment?
Well, let's see. What would I be rolling to recruit?
Oh, I think you're going to need leadership.
Any modifications?
You do outrank. Well, let's see. Who are you approaching for said task? Recruitment. Are you going for the dirty and easy, or are you going to be somewhat more selective?
I can always just kick them out if they're not good enough, or they'll die to the river gets.
Roll me an average leadership roll.
It's a high attrition rate there.
Okay. You spark up a conversation with a few of them.
Oh yeah, guys, it's gonna be great if you guys join the River Wardens. You'll get actual money. You'll be able to buy new clothes.
And what's the pay like?
Oh well, the pay. It'll be starting off with brass pennies, but sooner or later you'll be getting silver.
Eyes widen. And, what's the situation with your rivergits that killed the last ones?
Oh, bunch of goblins, maybe some trolls. But hey, you know what? We'll teach you how to use a gun. You stay safe and shoot them from far away. Learn how to use a sword. I mean, they're only goblins. Pretty easy to kill.
A few of them turn away for a moment and discuss between them the merits of using guns. They're very dangerous. I don't know if they're going to be safe for us.
Oh, they're completely safe after the right training, and I can even train you how to use them.
They pause and squint at you for a few moments, and a couple step forward, ready to be converted.
Huzzah.
No easy task in a town where the majority of the River Wardens, well, in the entirety of the River Wardens have been killed. At this point, you do bump into a familiar face, at least for yourself. Adrid approaches. Oh, hey, little man, how are you?
Oh, Adrid, it's been a while. I'm doing good. How are you, friend?
Oh, great. I've got my rod, my net, all my friends are fucked. It's just great.
Well, you know, another day in the Reichland, ain't it? That's the truth.
Hey, I'm off to go chat with the Lord about all my dead friends. Do you want to join?
Yeah, I was just about to head over there.
Oh, wonderful. I can recite to him all the people that have been fucked. And, you know Achaidh is perhaps somewhat sarcastic a lot of the time. He's seen some shit. And between GM and player, this is probably his coping mechanism. And who are you to take that away from him?
Yeah.
Not us.
Right.
A halfling enters the building first. Sigurd, Lazarus God, but Jodocus, followed by a fisherman, obvious from the anchor draped from his ear as a earring and, let's just say, stench that follows him.
Oh, look at you, high and mighty. Nice to meet yous.
And does a curtsy.
I'll nod. And, I don't think we've had the pleasure of meeting, sir. What's your name?
Oh, I know, probably really busy. My name's Aldred. The one that didn't get fucked.
Well, all right. There's been a lot of people that have been screwed in the last few months.
Oh, aye, me and the 30 that used to be in the River Guild, yes, we knew all about that.
Yeah.
Did I say 30?
deepest,
I meant 5. Sorry. I forgot the 25 were
yeah.
dead.
I'm sorry to hear that. How can I help you?
Well, I'm not meaning to sound greedy, but I need a boat and fishing nets
Indeed.
and people that are willing to die in order to get fish.
Well, yeah, that last part's a bit tough. Have you noticed that we are starting to work on building a fish pond for y'all so that we can try to mitigate some of the loss?
Oh, aye, I'm looking forward to fishing in it. Just gonna be swell.
Well, it's
Roll an
not,
intuition, Sigurd, as you're doing the talking right now.
I don't even need to, do I?
No, we're gonna
Intuition.
we're gonna read into him a little bit here. Well, we'll see.
What do you?
Oh, fuck me. Okay.
challenging?
Okay, so the dude's sarcastic, but you can tell, like, he's also broken. So, like, if you weren't... this is to Jodocus, by the way. Jodocus, the man is sort of in a point of grieving, you would say. And if, in any other situation, if you weren't so certain of this, you would think him a rude man. Sigurd's probably somewhat cautiously thinking, not the friendliest fisherman.
Master Aldred. A question, if you would.
Oh, certainly.
Do you ever do business with the fishermen who run the river to the south, the one away from our friendly local goblin population?
Oh, no, I haven't had the pleasure of being fucked by them yet. Should we go and
Delightful.
die down there?
Well, my hope is that you go down there and not die, but I'll see what I can do about that. You said that you've never been down that way, you've never had fishing rights in that southern river?
Oh, nay. The main road is, the main route is too busy. Sit around there in your fishing ship and you'll get fucked in the ass by a barge.
Do they have their own local people?
Probably. I'm not sure.
I'll have to make an ask.
Okay, well, I've wrote down this list. Perhaps that will be of some use.
Many thanks, and I will take the list before Sigurd reads it and gets more heartburn.
Okay. The list says a fishing guild. And Achaidh turns to walk away.
Well, at least he's asking for something reasonable.
Yep.
Yeah.
I hand the note to Godbert and shake my head.
He takes it and
They have
puts it in his pocket without pretending to read it.
pretending to read it.
Oh, very interesting.
I motion for him to give it to Lazarus,
Oh, all right.
who
Yeah,
I
sure.
pray can read.
Yes.
Sure. Oh, sorry, mine was somewhere else. Sure.
I take it and read it.
And facepalm.
Yep.
Yep, facepalm your beak into your head.
No, just more like the forehead.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
Yakubus.
Wilfred, how do you feel about Alfred right now?
Yep.
I'm sad for him. All he wishes to do is fish and cannot even do that. I am sad. I will, however, inform Sigurd that recruitment for new river wardens has already started.
That's good to hear. Get as many of them peddlers off the street as you can. Not by throwing them out, but by employing.
What a novel concept, employing the unemployed. I'm sure you'll go far, cousin.
There is a knock at the door again. This time a dwarf. Sporting a top hat. A rather worn-looking one, with a few tatty leathers about his person and a ginormous, bulbous nose, with a rather unfortunately placed water bonnet. Hello, Ungie. Lord Ungie, might I say? And bows.
Master Dwarf, how can I help you today?
More grim?
No.
Don't believe I've had the pleasure.
I do not believe so either, sir.
I run the Mider's Pick, formerly to a very select clientele until they fucked off a while ago. And,
Yeah.
business be struggling, my lord. It looks a bit grim.
I would imagine.
Money's not too good, and trade is slow. There's not many of ye Ungi about that want to pay for a room to sleep in.
Yeah. That is.
What are you going to
it's
do
very
about it?
difficult, I would suspect, right now.
Mr. Morgrim?
I was thinking of packing up, actually, and trying my luck elsewhere, but all really comes down to the business, I suppose. If you could get some more in,
Well-
then I might be able to scrounge it. If not, then the building will be yours again, and I'll have to terminate my lease.
All right. Well, Mr. Mulgren, this is my. I'll let you in. We do have plans, doing some prospecting in the hills.
His eyes
east of here.
widen. From a squint to you can now see
And,
them.
We are hoping to be able to bring some of your brethren back, if we can find the right business for them. But I can't promise you anything. We have to find it. And if we can't find it, then we haven't much. But if you can hold on for a little bit longer, we'll see what we can do.
If I may, my lord Ungi, a small break in the rent fees for a period might be helpful.
Indeed, I'll have a word with Fernando and see what we can cut for you.
Marvelous.
Until we can get your businesses back on.
I will pay ye back double.
I know a dwarf's word is his bond, so I'll get up and walk over and put my hand out.
Shakes your hand. You would know that it's probably about 2 gold crown he's asking for in terms of leniency.
Over the course of how long?
To basically buy him a couple of months, just to basically keep paying a few basic staff within there to keep cleaning it, etc. So he effectively he's agreed to pay you back 4 gold crown, provided you can get some sort of industry to occupy the tavern. But that's roughly what Sighard would think, having had a chat with Fernando about finances over the past month. That's roughly what sort of figures you're playing with.
All right.
Do I think he's looking
we'll have to discuss it. But
Jodicus, the dwarf, despite having the majority of his face hidden behind a beard, his eyebrows alone betray his emotions, and he does seem somewhat frustrated. However, he also seems keen in industry, perhaps. He seems an industrious individual. Perhaps frustrated at being out of work and looking to seize opportunity where he can. Looks perhaps entrepreneurial to you.
Good to know.
We will try to get some clansmen back here.
May?
The mine's working again.
Thank you.
Is there anything else, Master Morgan?
No. Very kind.
All right,
Lord Ungi.
We'll have a talk with Master Fernando. He'll see to the paperwork.
Aye. Thank you. And he walks out, leaving the group of you minutes to converse while Hydra runs to the toilet.
Well, I think
I'd rather give him a tax cut than lose. I'd rather give him a tax cut for the time being than have no business from that building at all.
He's certainly more comprehensible than that fellow Soren you've collected. At least he speaks in a language that isn't, well, I'd swear it was made up if I didn't understand about half of it.
I have to have translators for that man.
And at least he can run a bar that doesn't have rats in it. As in, rats are the only feature.
He does have a point, though. We need to repopulate the town, and not just the miners, but just in general.
Maybe.
Well,
if we can get some of the local unemployed to join the Fisher Guild, that would cut on some of the
Lazarus, a question.
loss of.
My apologies, cousin. You were saying?
No, just mumbling to myself about who we can get to work, and we've got plenty of unemployed right now.
I know we're spoiled for choice. They could do literally anything other than sit there and beg for money. Mr. Black, I have a question.
Well, I don't know who they're begging to.
Oh, that's a great question. That's my question. Mr. Black, a question for you.
Yes, sir.
You and your lady friend.
TCO?
You've set up a shop. I have a question. What do you believe it would take for you to find employment for these people here? I'm given to understand from speaking with some of them over the course of the last 2 weeks, that many of them are no strangers to scavenging in the woods. Do you think you might perhaps could train them to collect some of the things that are more valuable and hard to grow? Perhaps something we can leverage for export, giving idle hands something to do. I mean, aside from the risk of being eaten by the wildlife, I suppose.
Could always use hands to go forge more herbs. Make more. It gives me more potions and poultices to make.
Yeah, I can help with that.
The
My
more
thanks. I'm just trying to figure out what to do with these people's hands that won't get them scared to death. After all, if that guy was the guy trying to recruit me, what's his name? Aldred. Yes, Mr. Aldred. I would probably be inclined not to commit to said endeavor.
Yeah,
Free.
silly fuck.
Well, I mean, he does make you look optimistic, Godber.
Huh. That's no small feat.
Yeah. Yeah, remember, he has lost like 25 of his coworkers in the last few months.
Oh, I'm cognizant.
I'm sure I would be.
That raises the other issue. What are the plans vis-a-vis these greenskins?
Yeah, we're going to have to, once we get some trained individuals, we're going to have to do some scouting to locate where they're at. Figure out numbers and whether or not we're going to need to recruit some help from neighboring towns.
That Reinhard fellow.
But
You said it was real sneaky. You think he might be up to it? I met him at the Road Warden's Inn. Seemed the type for the job.
Depends on how much. Depends on how much of Captain Lambert's duties he's taking up right now.
Mm.
But we can see.
There is another knock at the door. A rather scrawny-looking individual with very angular features steps inside. Probably the only one of you who may have been familiar with him would be Lazarus, as this is your Fletcher. Closely associated with the followers of Tal, that's where, strangely enough, they get all of their arrows from. Hey, you're right there, lads.
How you doing, Han?
Yeah, I'm all right. My lord does a very humble bow in front of you that is awkward and, let's just say, untrained. I'm not here for myself, but on behalf of someone else. Is
How can I help?
Yeoman, he ain't got the stick to ask you, but we don't exactly have a bower in town, and most folk, they just kind of expect, well, you make me arrows and you make me a bow, right? No, I only know how to make arrows, so he's kind of mucking about in the woods with some pretty shoddy stuff, and if any more of them hunters go missing, then that's on me. So, if you could get us a bower, or even maybe get someone to teach me, I'll learn. I'm a fast learner, and I'll make bows for the town. Long bow, short bow, crossbow, uncrossbow, all sorts of bows.
I just cocked my eyebrow at uncrossbow.
Well, yeah, I'm sure it must be a thing. Yeah, I mean, I'm a dab hand at making arrows. Okay, get you one if you like.
We can, we'll look into that. I take it the bower was somebody that we lost during the confrontation?
Not really, no. The geezers...
With the last management?
We just ain't really had one. The Tarlites kind of been making their own, but they're kind of shite, if you know what I mean. Like, they're all right. Lazarus, you would be able to corroborate that effectively all of the Tarlite bows do have the shoddy quality currently. So, effectively, they're constantly breaking. They're having to fix them. So, basically every now and again when you're hunting and you draw an arrow, twang, string comes off, bow breaks, they'll go make another one.
Should also increase our food production if we fix it.
Yeah,
in defense.
yeah. You wouldn't want one of them bows in a fight. 1 in 5 of them are twanging your eye, and you'd be yeah, boa. As I say, I'll learn. Just find me a geezer that can. I mean, it looks simple, but I tried it. It didn't really work.
Yeah.
You what? Yeah, robot noises for me as well. Does anyone else sound normal? Is everyone a robot? Can anyone else speak? Ladies and gentlemen, that is a perfect time to take a 5-minute break while I figure out the fuck's going on with my stream. We'll be back in a mo. Toodle pip. Beep beep. Ayo, ladies and gentlemen. No, not stream ending. Not that one. That one. There we go. We're on the right page now. We are back, and things are working again. Apologies. Discord kind of died. We were pretty much in the process of wrapping things up with Han. Yeah, so that's all really. I'll learn.
Yeah. We'll definitely need a bower for sure. We'll either get you trained or we will bring somebody in, but we'll have to look around and check our options first.
All right, just
But it's a very good idea, and make sure you give my best to Yeoman when you see him.
I will do. He's yeah, you seen the green thing he's got?
The green thing he's got.
Oh yeah. We bought it in yesterday. It was what is it? It's like a big green goblin head. Well, it's like a green skin head, basically. It's massive.
How encouraging.
Lovely. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but
Gonna have to go see. Yeah.
yeah, all
Bring
right.
that
Well,
to my attention. We will take a look at that soon.
that's all right. Yeah. Bye.
Thank you, Han. We will keep in touch. I'll make sure that somebody comes around and lets you know what we do.
There is another knock at the door almost instantly. A halfling enters.
Another one.
Murdoch Rickleberry, the owner of your bakery. You all right, lords? Lord, nice to see you again. Hope you like the pies. Biscuits.
Yes, and much more affordable now.
Don't have to raise the price by 50% for the previous lord. Lowered the prices, and all of a sudden I can sell to everyone instead of just, 3 people, which is nice. Kind of got plans to expand, only could do with a little bit more ingredients. Sort of grain's a little bit sparse and pricey and hard to get. So, just wanted to put that to you, and, kind of got plans to get a couple extra chefs and maybe export our sweets elsewhere, He pulls out
A fine idea. We
from behind his back
need some jobs.
a silver plate with sweets on it. I've prepared some samples. Pretty sure we could, industrialise and convert this to some sort of more, big industrious business type thing. Try one! And offers everyone a sweet.
Lovely idea. Yeah, for sure.
I've been giving out free samples all around town, and so far they've been going down well. Not many people can afford one, even though I've lowered the prices considerably, but, problem is, a beggar's...
Well, the town is in kind of a low state right now, but we will hopefully bring that back up.
Well, that would be nice, otherwise I'll have to just kind of hire a cart and take them elsewhere, I guess.
We'll
I'm
hope we don't
interested.
have to do that.
And I will say that the sweets are delicious to anyone that's tried one. Candied fruit, effectively. Candied berries, but with just the right amount of cinnamon.
When I take a look at him, do I think he's being honest with us, or do I think he's like away? I'm trying to get a read on his attitude.
He wants business. He wants money. Every time he says the word money, you can sort of see an expression, a little squint in his eyes. They narrow just slightly. You can see where his ambitions lie.
business, I can work with that.
But he is also
Excellent.
quite proud, I would say. With your +4, those would be your tidbits. Oh yeah, I can make other things, pies, and whatever else. You give me whatever, I'll work with it. Mutton, make some nice mutton.
Tell me, Master Baker, question. Have you attempted to take these delicious foods elsewhere? Or have you simply been trying it out in the town?
Oh, not recently. Previous deal with the Lord was that I could deliver him a meal once a day and not really do anything else except for raise my prices. So rent was free, and I just been kind of sat there making one meal a day for the past 3 years.
Oh, that probably got frightfully dull. All right, let me examine our options. Tell me, have you had any overtures from any of the guilders or any associates in Boganoffen?
Folk from there don't come round here.
I can see why.
I haven't
But
been out.
this might change things. I will make inquiries. Thank you so much.
Oh, that would be very nice on account of me not being able to go anywhere. Or if you had someone with a cart or something, or nothing, or something. Much appreciated, my lord. Bows
So,
before leaving.
Hold on one second.
All right.
We might be making a trip to Blute Rock later. If you want to leave us with some more, we can.
Oh, you can quickly go and bake some more.
Yeah, it won't be till later this afternoon. But if we take off to,
I'll have them
Rock,
with
then
you,
we'll,
boy, the end of 2 hours. Which one will you like? And
sounds good.
I'll make some of everything.
A sampling, if you would.
Certainly. I'll make you do with what I've got. More fruits, too. Sorry, forgot to mention.
Fruits?
Yeah, on account of we not having any.
Yeah, no, we were kind of in pine tree land. Yeah, there's not much fruit.
Trying to work with berries here, it's not exactly easy.
Yeah. We'll talk to Yarla about maybe getting a small grove started, but until then, we'll see if we can bring you in some.
I used to get one of the a few of the foragers to go get me berries, but found out they've been picking them out from animal dung.
How delightful.
Lovely.
Very awesome.
Not quite so fresh. I'll give you that.
Sounds very tamish.
Just give him a proper rub and fine.
Yeah. Each to their own, mister.
Yeah.
I've got to go cooking now. Okay, bye. Runs out.
Thank you much. Well, we might be able to kill 2 birds with 1 stone if we take some of that stuff to Blute Rock, maybe.
Yep. They're willing to trade something.
Indeed. Or at least they can put in orders so that we can start buying produce until we can grow our own.
Senor, that seems everybody who is coming here.
Thank you very much for your time, Fernando.
See, I will go
Thank you very much.
beat some taxes out of people. Bye, senor.
Adios.
He disappears and cracks his knuckles.
I just take another big swig. I take another big swig from my from my flask.
Checking in with Sigurd here. How's running a town going?
You know, it's a headache.
Yeah, this is why you don't talk to poor people.
I don't think it's it's not the running the town or running a small group isn't that hard of a thing, but how horrible the town's been left makes it much more difficult.
Fair. Fair. So, the stage is yours, players.
I have a question, Sighard.
Yes, Lazarus.
If I go out and get people to become forgers, who's paying them?
Well, probably
That is
the
an excellent
people
question.
that are buying whatever they're foraging. So they would gather herbs. I mean, then you would pay them. I don't know, and I don't know who pays you, but that's how.
And if you
things
can
go.
get them to forage for fruits and stuff for the baker, I'm sure the baker then would probably be able to pay for it. But I mean, the town treasury isn't exactly overflowing at this point.
Okay, I have an idea in
A
mind.
few brass here and there. Huh?
I said I have an idea in mind how I can pay people.
It's above board, right?
Yes.
Alright.
There's one more knock at the door. An individual that had not queued up, but a head pops round. Someone that doesn't seem particularly familiar. I would think. Perhaps, Lazarus, you may have bumped into the individual. A simple civilian, you could say. A peasant from town. You're right. My lord, no burger, but I'd like to make a request, if I may.
Yeah. What can I do for you?
Sorry, I can tell I've troubled you on a busy day, but the Strigani, they need talking about.
Are they causing trouble?
No, they saved my wife during the attack. The lady, I think her name were Gilda, although I've not had chance to talk to her, alongside a knight she were fighting with, and a few others. They were tearing limb from limb on these gore that came out the woods, and I wanted, only if you felt it fair, to maybe name a holiday after them.
I'll look at Yodicus and then.
Holiday.
Well, if I will, sir, I were there and one of them came in, this great giant of a goat man, and he was giant. He were probably 7 foot tall, and behind him, this man, probably but 6 foot tall, grabbed him by the scruff of the neck and tore him to the ground and crushed his neck within his bare hands. And that man saved my wife. She were there with me.
Very heroic.
Aye, I never caught the fella's name, but strength of 10 men, I tell you. There's a whole village of folk in the same place as myself, and I was the one voted in to come and put this forward, that a debt is owed for a many of us, a life debt.
Yeah, indeed, it definitely helped. I'll talk to Gilda later this afternoon.
Much appreciated, and that's not to say that the brave deeds done by else were not recognised, but
I understand.
those beasts were in our
They did help.
homes. They got a few families, but the majority of us were kept safe by them cursed folk, but, well, perhaps not so cursed
maybe. My lord, he bows to you, and he's had a nervous air to him, which is apparent the whole time. Clearly out of his station. He turns to leave after making eye contact with each of you to see if anything else is needed of him.
What is your job, sir? What do you do for a living?
Not had a job for some time, sir. I once tried to be a guardsman, but they weren't recruiting, so I trained, but I simply been doing what I can. So, patchy work.
What would you fancy doing for work? Would you like to be a guard? We have plenty of job positions open in town.
If I may, sir, the Strigani, they saved my wife. I would repay the favour and protect the town. Give me something to hit the bastards with, and I'll do the same. I had a knife in my hand when the beast came in, but it were a big un for me.
Indeed. Well, talk to the new captain of the guard, the war priest, and he'll see to it that you get what you need and training that you deserve. Thank you for bringing this to our attention. We go talk to Gilda after this.
Aye, sir. Thank you. Kindly and noble folk. Bows clumsily before leaving.
I scribbled down a note, tear off a piece of parchment, and hand it to him. Pass this to Lazarus. He'll know what to do with it.
I take it.
Lazarus? Lazarus is right next to us.
Right.
Lothar?
He'll pass it.
Lothar?
Yes. Pardon.
Thank you, sir.
It's only episode 1 of the new season and we already forgot him.
Oof.
No doubt he'll be very pleased to hear
Oof. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay. He walks out quite briskly.
I would very much like to meet this Gilda person.
Yeah, definitely. So, what do you think of this story about the 6-foot knight that can rip apart a 7-foot beastman?
Yeah, that's
with his
why
hands?
I really would like to talk to Gilda.
Sure, there's a logical explanation.
I'm sure.
I'm sure there is. Lazarus, I've dealt with her myself on multiple occasions. I'm sure there's plenty of reasonable explanations. And I just stare at his mask. They did help. We will see if there's anything that we can... I don't know about holidays. Strigani holiday. I don't even know. Huh?
Maybe we can just celebrate one of their holidays.
Well, yeah.
Well, the difficulty here becomes that if we choose to celebrate holidays openly regarding a people that are generally regarded as cursed and a favorite target of the witch hunters, that would put us in a difficult position. Not that I don't appreciate this gentleman's thoughts on the matter, which I do. But perhaps we can navigate this a little bit more carefully than openly embracing a pagan holiday.
Well, we could,
Well,
if,
I mean-
instate a celebration of sorts for the glorious repelling of the dastardly beastmen by all the heroes that fought in this momentous battle.
It has a little bit more subtlety, I would agree.
Or we could just say, fuck you. I don't know. I don't care.
You have a Memorial Day.
No, they did help, and they have help. They were in the thick of it in the middle of the town, so we can't just.
Oh, I'm not suggesting sweeping them under the rug or ignoring them.
Well, Soren, how can
There
I
is
help you?
one more. There's not a knock on the door. He just walks in.
I know. That's why I just said Soren.
Arrow, Gaji.
1 second. 1 second. 1 second, sorry. And I just put my hand up because I don't know. Do any of you speak Wastelander?
What's the difficulty on this?
The test, average.
I do.
Mm-hmm. You do. You've probably spoken to a few Wastelanders in your time. The accent is... If he were a Scotsman, it would be a Highlander's accent. So even by Wastelander standards, it's thick. But deep in culture. Ow, I one go mambo. Was he from Bungle? Which Yodicus roughly translates to, I was hoping maybe we could get a table for the rat hole. Just as one of the boxes keeps... Well, I keep finding rats in it. And it's easier to just have a table so I can just see if there are rats there.
I pass this information along.
Yeah. We also do something about the rats.
Well, that would be going a bridge
will.
too far.
No, Soren, we will get you a table, but you have to promise to try to keep it a little cleaner in there. We'll try to get some rat catcher to come out and take care of that infestation.
Ayo, Barry Van Frango, Quasi Mundo. Yodicus,
I just stare at.
that was roughly... Thank you very much. I've also had a meeting with the other innkeepers of the town recently. We've been exchanging gossip, and on their behalf, I am presenting myself to you as their representative in order to fill you in on local events, if you wish.
I translate this with a great
Keep
deal of
pass that on.
skepticism. Oh, yes. I translate that with a great deal of skepticism. Raised eyebrows the entire time.
Of course, Soren. That sounds like a lovely idea.
Ayo, Daddy Grando, buddy from. The few of us get together once a month to play cards, and doing so, we tend to exchange the gossip within the town. And I have learned of a few things that I thought might be interesting, seeing as you and the sods that like to live within my tavern like to try to get yourselves killed on a regular basis. A few of these things might be of interest to you. The first thing is as follows, and maybe also of some concern. There is tale of academics who heard of your deeds about killing that giant, big, massive guy over by the mountains, who had gone to investigate, only to find that there was no body there.
This... all right. So, Soren is claiming that there were some people that went to investigate academic sorts. When you had killed that giant, I believe that's how you obtained the wonderful gentleman from across the mountains. And it appears that your giant's body had gone for a walk. It was no longer there.
The second that actually starts coming out of his mouth, I just stare at Lazarus and cock my eyebrow.
There's a logical explanation.
I look at Lazarus. is there now? Do enlighten me.
Well, we got a special gift from Gilly,
Oh,
and it was a poison dagger, and I threw the dagger at the giant, and it poisoned him. And maybe it did something. Maybe it didn't. Maybe we didn't kill it.
I look at Sigurd. Did you kill it? Did he kill it? Who was there?
They brought back a hand. The only, I mean, I don't.
Hello, Maggie Bamble. Do you want to
My apologies, sir.
know the other few things, or shall we just stick with you guys trying to get yourselves killed over this one?
My apologies, sir. One moment. Do continue.
There's been quite a lot of talk within the town about the Stragani's saving of, well, a lot of the civilians. Many of them armed with 2 daggers had been going house to house alongside this rather pretty lady with, I must say, I fancy a bit myself, tearing these gore limb from limb. She, I have by eyewitness account, was covered in blood with only but her eyes showing, and was spotted in such a manner within the doorway of one of my said colleagues, having, let's say, rendered the beast in front of her in half. In addition to that, there are a few folk that have been sicker than usual and a little bit more on the fever side going around town. I'm slightly concerned about the hygiene levels within this town. For the most part, Eudicus. Okay, Lord Medicine. From the description of the symptoms, Lazarus, some sort of fever, something. I mean, the thing that would go to your mind instantly, even with a failure, would be like rat fever. Sounds like a few people are coming down with it. Eudicus. That's pretty much all he's got. Seems pretty honest. It's just sharing a bit of goss that he got from a few of his colleagues.
Does he seem to believe what they're telling him, or is he exaggerating?
Ooh. With a +1, one cannot be certain. Though you could ask him. I will say it wasn't first-hand.
Right.
He's reporting on tales from else.
Who was it that spotted the lady covered in blood? I would be very curious to speak with him should I have the opportunity.
Oh, Aji, Frang Bungo, Frang Bung. Next to the fisherman's village, fisherman building where 5 of them are still alive, second on the left. Generic peasant lady.
My thanks.
Maggie, you're more than welcome.
Thank you, Soren.
Hey-oh!
And I agree about the IG.
So buddy!
Don't use dead rat to clean the bugs.
Mango Frango. If you see Rex around anywhere, there's an old man looking for him. Bye.
An old man. How delightful. So, we have a supernatural missing giant, Potentially.
That one we'll have to talk to Gilda about.
Well, I hear she's fond of you.
Well, sure.
Must be your dashing good looks.
I'm sure it is. She's
You
old
certainly
enough to
didn't
be
give her
your
your
mother.
But how depressing and adventurous.
Indeed.
Mr. Lazarus,
Gentlemen,
I'm going to have
anything
to
else?
ask this question. I have to ask him a question, so.
Absolutely.
Now, I am
Ask away.
all in favor of creative solutions. You took a potentially poisoned and or how would I put this? Enhanced weapon from a person of dubious origin, and you stabbed a giant with it, and this giant is now no longer present.
What makes you think that it's of dubious? She's dubious.
She's Stragani, son. The last time I had a drink with one of them, they took all of my money, and I had a considerable amount of it. And I don't lose at cards because I cheat at cards. And I still lost at cards, which should tell you something.
Maybe they just think you're pretentious.
Well, that could be, but suffice it to say, they're willing to take my money.
Take -1 wound, Yodicus. From that fire. Damn.
They've
I
done
actually
nothing but
snort.
help me. I have no qualms with them.
Well,
We can talk to them about it, but
yeah. We'll talk.
I'm not-
We'll talk to Gilda.
I'm not jumping to conclusions, but conclusions might be jumping at us, or jumping up and down on us, depending on the size of them. Oh.
Yeah.
I look at Godbert. Have you ever heard of anything like this?
Godbert has been arms folded, one hand to his nose, looking down, rubbing his beard, mumbling and grunting all the while this is going on. Yes. The thing is, people often intend good, but those intentions can be twisted by outside agents, you know, and with all the experiences you had here, I wouldn't be surprised, you know. Something's afoul here.
My grandfather trusted you implicitly on these matters. I
Yeah.
trust you as well.
Like I said, I would very much like to meet this Gilda woman. But also, I'm very curious about what this yeoman fella has got with his green head.
Yep.
Maybe
That is more pressing at this.
he's
particular
close by,
moment,
so maybe we should have a look there.
Yeah.
Can't say I disagree.
Yeah. Let's go see this green skin head, and then we can go have a lovely conversation with Gilda. Right, Lazarus?
I'm sure she can explain everything.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Doubtless.
As you go to leave and open the door, there's a handle twitching just before you approach. I was tempted to troll chat for a second there. And not introduce Gerard.
Sigmar. Sigmar be with me. It is lovely to see you again, my lord.
Sigma be with you. How are you moving into the new temple? Does it suit you?
It suits me very well, my lord. I've been trying to shove Sigmar inside of this town for some time now. I'm starting to wonder. There's a lot of people. I don't even think they've had Sigmar inside of them yet.
That there hasn't been a temple to Sigmar here. That was the first. They've definitely had some Raya and Tau in here,
Right. Yeah.
but not Sigmar.
Too much of that inside of them. This is Davith. He's my colleague. David steps forward. He doesn't say anything. Davith has taken a vow of silence. He's a very passionate man. He's chosen not to speak, however.
Very noble, Brother David. Nice to meet you. And I'll just nod at him like he can't hear me either.
Davith has got that expression, I will say.
It's nice to meet you.
That's good, Davith. Well done. It is a pleasure to be in town, my lord.
It's good to have you here.
Is there any way I may serve the community?
Well, see what you can do about trying to raise the spirits.
Oh, I can do that.
Introduce some people. Remind them that Sigmar is with us.
I will summon the town to sermons, and we will discuss Sigmar.
Baptisms, if needed.
Oh. I've been baptizing all right. I baptized someone yesterday. Fucking loved it.
How delightful.
Came back to me the next day.
Very good, Jared.
Asked me to baptize him again.
Well, if it adds to the cleanliness of the town, I suppose we can't be opposed to that.
I tend to reserve it at once. One baptism tends to be about right. But, you know.
It depends on how close you've been associated with chaos, and there's been a lot of it around here. So it might be needed.
I fucking hate heretics, mate.
Yeah.
It's a problem.
Me too.
They don't know about Sigmar. Oh, they've let him go. Best thing to do with fucking heretics, mate, is just to take a whole bunch of fucking Sigmar, shove it up their arse. You know.
I see.
And then light it on fire.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. All right, well.
Is there anything you need at the temple? Has it been fully furnished?
Maybe some flowers.
Yeah. Lazarus here is very good at finding herbs, and I'm sure he'll bring some by for you.
Sounds good. The other priests in town have been very welcoming, though they have marked me as slightly intense.
Well, you are a stranger in a strange town, and they've been here a while. Just give them some time to warm up to you.
It's the trouble. Sometimes you don't have time to warm up. You've just got to get Sigmar inside. All right, I better go.
Wait. Thank you for stopping by, Brother Gerard. Brother David, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. All of you. And I'm,
Sigmar be with you.
Yeah.
would you like any, prayer beads or anything?
I think I'll pass, thank you.
You can take the prayer beads, mate.
Well, thank you very much.
There you
Very
go.
kind of you.
Sigmar be with you.
And with
Remember,
you.
he's inside you already. And he intensely disappears.
Sorry. I'm not sorry.
I'm trying so hard.
Prigmar, Sighard, the Prigmar. Prigmar, I'm dead. Yeah, Prigmar. The prayer beads smell normal. They're fine.
Well, that's one thing that's gone right today.
What a couple of wholesome priests that were.
I know. So
Yeah.
intense.
So
They
full
must-
of Sigmar, yeah.
Must be.
But somehow they remind me of that one time I caught you two guys touching each other's willies on Etna's wedding.
Quiet.
Jesus, Bert. Senile as always.
Oh, your grandfather lost
All
her
right.
heart.
And on that note,
Let's go see this green skin before I lose my damn mind.
Yeah. Lead the
agreed.
way.
I'm sorry, but did you say something?
Lead the way.
Wait, Bert, you sounded like somebody else we just lost recently.
Instant flashbacks.
I
How's
take
it-
another swig from my flask.
How's Wilfred doing right now? Is he coping?
Yes. No. Not at all.
No. No.
These humans and their damn gods.
These humans and their damn religions and their politics.
It's just a mess here, right? Like, maybe the fishing guild are the lucky ones. Okay, deep breath. Right. Time to move away from that, mate. So, the group of you are... If I move you all together... why can't I move you, you heavy little fuck?
You need a strength.
I can't actually move you. No, I can't. It won't let me.
Wilfred
Oh,
breaks the game.
fuck my life. Okay, fine. Your tokens are wherever the piss you move them. Where are you off to?
I'm
we'll
off to
see
wherever
him.
I can't. Yeah, I was gonna say off to wherever I can't hear Bert talking anymore.
So you're technically, if I move down, you're already right next to Yeomand. So basically, you're where Santiago is on the map. I would move you there myself, but for whatever godly reason, I can't move your tokens. So you're basically stood next to... I can't even move Santiago. Fuck my life. Oh, no, now I can. Never... I hate my life.
You're moving them. It's just out of the way.
Just at a delay. Hopefully the stream can hear me. God knows what's going on. Anyway, so you're off to see Yeomand?
Goblin hat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who had to go that far from town and coming back with a green skin it's got to be something within striding distance.
You step inside the Hunters Guild. Lazarus, a familiar place. A slightly more odorous smell fills the air today. A hog is being roasted on the hearth, but the smell is slightly more putrid. Brothers. So, just giving you flashbacks. Yeoman welcomes you inside.
I immediately go and put the offerings in both of the shrines. Actually, yeah. Do they still have the Signite one, or is it now just Riot and Talon here?
Riotal and like let's just say like a post-it note for Sigmar. I'll
I'll go put a silver in the Talon Ryowans, and then I'll go up to Yeoman.
Lord, wonderful to see you again, my brother. And you have brought friends for me. And gives you each a very hearty handshake, enough to cause considerable pain on the
I
average.
take off my mask before he shakes my hand.
Lazarus, good to see you.
Good to see you too, Yeoman.
Oh, he does have a face.
May I offer some food? Nourishment?
Well, don't mind if I do indulge in some of that roasted whole hog there. It's none of that long pork, I guess. Ha ha.
With a gesture of his hand, one of the other individuals inside starts slicing a few, let's just say, steaks off of the rump of this pig. It's smelling better over your side of the room, but as you sit down around a table right next to the hearth, it is very difficult to ignore a large head on the table, which is green and has teeth that are perhaps 4 to 5 inches long that protrude from the lower jaw, which somewhat more pronounced than the upper. I would say, Godbert, as a learned man, you would know this without question to be not a goblin but an orc. And for the rest of you, that would be a suspicion at the very least.
Now, Master Yeoman, before we get started, I want to introduce you to Gottbert and Joka. God, I'm going to keep messing your name up.
Joey.
Jodicus.
Eudokus old. That's who
they
it
are.
was.
Family friends that are here to help try to bring the town back up.
Nice to meet you there, Mr. Yeoman.
Good to meet you, my brother.
Now,
Welcome.
how did you come by this your workout?
I cut it off.
Really, no small feat. Whereabouts was this?
Just points to the Reichwald to his side. Oh, fuck me. This dice is going to kill me. We're going to be back in 2 minutes, guys. My dice are rolling at like 3 frames per second. Yeah, we're going to take a 2-minute bio and then we're going to be back. I'm sorry, stream, but my frames.
Yeah.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we fixed it after I finally loaded the correct type of doodah. Wilfred has kind of died, not died. He's gone to work. So, here we are. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back.
River winding it up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about you, but I'd fire him right now. I'm just going to adjust the chat box so it doesn't look like, there's more people than we planned for, or something. So, we're chatting with Yeoman right now.
Yeah, inquiring about the orc.
Godbert is convinced it's an orc. The rest of you are certainly slightly curious. Yodicus, you are eyeballing the orc, are you?
Yes.
Thick teeth. A green tone to the skin. Leathery in appearance. But it looks like the head's perhaps been severed from the body for some time. It's difficult to say. There is a degree of life still within it, in terms of its facial expression, at least. It is an expression of anger and frustration, let's say. The smell in the air is a musty one. And that skull is certainly what is polluting this fine, fine tavern. So, you've come here to indulge. He gestures towards the skull.
I admit it piqued my curiosity. I'm still shaking my hand out from where he crunched it.
Was it alone or with a moor?
There was a few of them. This was the better of the trophies. A couple of goblins and 2 of these. I suspect with the gore leaving our town, others have decided the woods will be their home.
Yeah, well, praise Tal for you patrolling them.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Do you believe them to be associated with our river pests?
I cannot tell you much about the politics of goblins and greenskins. Only that these are in the woods. Thus, they do not live up to any name of any river git. But, as I say, I have my domain, and that is here.
Gesturing towards the woodland to his west.
I think
so that's,
problems are just piling up.
Okay. So from here, I'm trying to remember the map.
Yep.
East is the higher creek, right?
Yeah.
West
So
is-
he's basically pointing towards the Reichfold elves, where the beastmen came from, that sort of direction.
Okay.
Where you've been cutting trees down, that sort of direction.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it's relevant or related at all, but
Yes.
Of course not.
And how goes being a lord?
It is, yeah, it's something. different kind of troubles, different kind of issues. Not stuff I'm quite used to yet.
Good.
But, we did talk to one of your the bower, or the the Fletcher, and we will look into getting a bower or training him.
He looks somewhat confused for a second.
Bows. What did he say?
Some of your hunters use bows, do they not?
We would be poor woodsmen without them.
I'm just gonna look at Yodicus.
Let me see if I can parse that. Can I do a intuition on that?
Yeah, I'm sure. And what's Godbert interested in?
If got what's his name, Yeoman looks distraught in any way, or
Very faithful is all I can say to both of you, in fact, with your +3s. Very stoic and faithful. A man that expects his god to provide and relies on little else.
Not everyone is perhaps as gifted as you may be at crafting things for themselves. Sometimes, perhaps. It would be good to allow the option for those who are trying to learn such skills to give them at least tools to begin their travel, as it were.
I will not argue with bows. It is true to Tal, and I am grateful for your focus on what is important.
Yodicus, do you have a pistol on you right now?
I always have two.
Would you say they're visible?
Depends on how if he's looking for them, he can probably see them. But if he's not, if it's just looking at my coat, if he sees under my coat, then he can see it. If he doesn't, then
I will say simply that he eyes up the group.
And we must remember our loyalty to our Lord. That reminds me, the quickening is coming.
Quickening.
It is time.
What's that?
Soon. I will ask for recruits. I trust one of you is familiar.
Godbert, this perhaps might be something you may have come across. Can you get me a lore check out? Average.
I've got folklore, I've got local, I've got Reichland.
Reichland. I will say this isn't necessarily a big thing within Reichland, so you won't get... or you could roll really well. You know that there's an initiation that the followers of Tal do, which involves new recruits effectively surviving in the wilderness for some time on their own. Limited provisions. This is also a rite of passage for youngsters as well. So I would say kids by any modern standard, but by Warhammer standard, youngsters barely able to fight will occasionally be pitched out in the wilderness for up to 7 nights, and those that survive and prove themselves able will effectively join the Cult of Tal.
Mm-hmm.
And this process is known as the quickening. Lazarus, you probably have heard this word, although I doubt anyone has taken the time to explain it to you. It's more of a, well, if you don't know what it is, I'm not telling you type of thing. But you have been working for them, so I'd give you some leeway with that.
Well, I mean, he is 16. He could join the quickening.
Yeah, Lazarus, you're due, basically. Going off to fight orcs, sorry. Well done, Sigurd.
For those that wish to be initiated fully, it will be expected. I would appreciate if you could perhaps spread word, my brother.
Looks towards Sigurd.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
How long until this quickening takes place?
A month. I
Gives
myself,
us some time.
yes. A few will do. We are of sufficient number, but more will be helpful. We did lose some dozen to the large Gorble. I will be joining in the woods for my own pilgrimage, but I will leave someone capable until I am back.
I'll be with you. Stay safe.
As we have seen as of recent, Sigurd, he is. I hope you will be true to your word. And when I come back, I expect, my brother, that we will deal with the problems of this town.
Indeed. Indeed. I'm gonna be doing some research myself as well and see what we can uncover. But
Very well.
I know the deal.
Good. Good. In that case, feast, my brothers.
And he downs an ale in front of you in spectacular fashion. Barely touching the sides, I will say, but 2 gulps, and the ale is gone, and another tankard is being poured. For this man is too large for an ordinary mount. The bear, perhaps, fitting for him. So, full of pork and ale, life is somewhat more satiated for the group. Over to you.
Cousin, what exactly did you promise that man?
Well, I'll tell you. You promised him to have some young dudes go in the forest and camp out for a couple of days. See out if they come alive, and if you do, join him.
I was more worried about the second part.
Yep. Yeah. So, there's a group of elves that are also guarding some stones, like the one that was in the basement here that we told you about.
What, more of them stones?
Yeah. Like a circle of them. Numerous. And Yeoman is convinced through his god that a lot of this corruption that's taking place in the area is caused by the elves doing something that they shouldn't be. So we should, that's something we need to look into, because we, myself and a few others have promised to aid him in clearing them out and returning the stones to Tal.
How many
So-
of them are there, cousin?
That is an excellent question. At least a few giant walking trees, and at least a dozen that I saw.
Well,
But that's the ones I saw. You know how elves are. if you don't see them, they only let you see them when they want. So it could have been twice that number as far as we know.
Yeah.
It's not something we can just run into, but it is something we need to look into.
Yeah, it is.
I start drinking heavily.
Welcome to Tom.
As you say.
Yeoman by this point has gone to converse with some others, so you have a degree of privacy during that conversation.
Well, I mean, that's pretty much the gist of it, right?
Pretty much the gist of it.
Yeah, I'll just have to kill some elves of unknown numbers with tree men. Just that.
Yeah.
And now he's drunk.
Oh, yeah, that's why it needs to be quiet. Gotcha. Yep. Duh. It's been a while. Okay. Cigarette's back. Yeah, I wasn't intending to say that as loud for him to hear. That skipped Thorg's mind.
That skipped Thorg's mind. It's okay. Just talking about elves in the building. For the viewers, that is single-mindedly focused on finding where they live so that they can kill them.
Mm-hmm.
Although you didn't actually state a location, you may have said that you've seen them. We shall see what happens to that in future, but for now, Achaidh is convinced that everything is fine in the world, with prayer beads to guide him. What is your group planning on doing now?
Well, still want to see about that guild woman. What is the hour?
It's mid-afternoon. Plenty of daylight left.
So,
Who else is there to talk to? Is Clara, is she in charge of the...
Clara's not necessarily in charge, but you would know them as Klaus. The token being slightly misleading. Yes. Let's do that to make it slightly easier. Klaus is perhaps the most promising recruit that Lothar has informed you about. And yes, that is one individual within the town.
Yeah. Well, since Lothar's out doing Lothar things, let them know that they have a recruit coming their way. And then head to see Gilda.
Okay. You pass through, take a stroll down the street. A few beggars on the way ask you for a coin or a penny. Does anyone have any coin to part to some of the professional beggars within your town? Evening, sir. 1 penny, if I may.
I'll part with a penny. Or two. Mostly I'm counting how many there are between here and there.
Okay. One of the ones that you pass a penny to continues to hold his cup out after you have filled it with a penny and looks at you eagerly. A penny, sir?
what? What?
A penny, sir?
What? You have to speak up, son.
Sort of shakes his cup. Godbert, Jodicus, Achaidh, Lazarus. This is after you've put a penny in it.
give you a job instead.
He backs away slightly.
Ah, well, he's passed the test. He's not looking for an honest day's work.
Penny, sir? Just the one?
I've already given you one. You asking for more?
No, you didn't.
You know, I don't mind a man that's down on his luck. I do mind a liar.
Do you want to roll an intimidation for me, please? I suspect he is. You can have a plus 20 due to your station. An average intimidation for me, please. I suspect he is about to run.
Not with that roll.
Nope.
No, I'm not.
I turned around, keep walking, and ignored him.
I never stopped walking.
You can breathe a sigh of relief as you cross the bridge and finally make your way out of the poor part of town, where you are no longer harassed by beggars. Sigurd, you in particular perhaps gain a little bit more attention. Lots of eyes on you. Money in your pockets being the assumption. And you are at the caravan site of the Stragani. There are perhaps 10 to 15 individuals right now. A few are organising logs, and seems like they may have been assisting with repairs to the palisade wall. Hey, Lazarus. Hey, goodbye. Hey, Dan. Hello, Lazarus. How are you?
Doing quite well today. How are you?
Weather's fine. Terrified. Weather's been fine. Yeah. Good fight the other night.
Yeah,
No.
I didn't catch who was there.
Yeah, bro. Hey, wait. A few of us had a brawl, and yeah, we made a little bit of coin by betting.
Cool. Good for you. Is Gilly around?
Hey, in the back, Ned. In the caravan.
Thank you.
I'm going to find something more. Yeah, let's go with something a little bit more Stragani-ish in nature. Okay. Who's going to knock on the door of said caravan?
Door.
I'll do it.
Sigurd. As you raise your hand to knock on the door, as your hand touches the door for the first time. Come in, Sigmar.
Sigurd. Gilda.
Of course, darling.
Anyway,
come
how
on.
you doing?
Wonderful, darling. Just wonderful.
Got a couple of new members of the town to introduce you to. Part of my staff.
I see. New friends, are they?
Well, old friends, new to town. This is my cousin, Yodicus, and Gottbert. You've been with the family for a while.
I see. An absolute pleasure.
Yodicus, this is Gilda. She helped defend the town. She's been a good source of information for us.
I heard. Nice to meet you.
She shakes your hand, Godbert, and I would say touches it very softly. As the two of you are shaking hand,
It looks like you are somewhat weary. Perhaps you deserve a rest.
Perhaps I do.
Godbert, can you make me a hard intelligence test.
Zoop. Hard. Nope.
Wow.
Nice lady. Perhaps you do, darling.
Pretty.
Good to see you. She gives you a little stroke of the hair to tuck it behind your ear. Wonderful. And yourself, sir. And where the hell has he tucked himself? There we go. Doink.
He's still talking with the peasants about pennies and cups.
Pleasure to
Well.
meet you.
Words don't do you justice, madam.
Indeed they don't, so I'm told. So, what can I do for you, my lord and companions?
How are you and the rest of your people doing?
Oh, we're good. We are settling nicely. Everyone's been very accommodating, I have to say, but blood tends to accrue a debt. And it is gracious of them to offer to pay it such. We've had food delivered and all sorts. Haven't been this welcome anywhere in a long time. Hope you don't mind our
You did.
peg here.
Yeah. It was not a building site I was going to use currently. That is for sure.
Here we go. I'm just so I try and find something.
Most definitely needed to be purged.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we will...
Did we? Sorry, Gil.
We will guard the grave of this naughty lord. I would thank you again. You have settled a debt. Long outstanding.
I'm guessing you're talking about Theodosius because it doesn't look like Leopold has done much of anything in his entire life.
No. Unfortunate. But
Very much.
yes, advisors can be tricky individuals. Want to be careful who you trust.
Yeah. Jodicus can be a little, unruly at times, I'm sure. And Gauntlet likes to fall asleep.
What? Sorry, what?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, I will say now the group of you are, I will say, very cozily sat within this caravan, and there is a small knock on the door. One of the local peasants. Oh, sorry, I was here for Gilda.
Would you just give me a moment?
Is she talking to me or the peasant?
You guys, effectively, looking at all of.
Would you excuse me for just a moment? I tell you what, make yourselves at home.
She takes a bowl and a knife
I'll be right back.
and steps outside. The group of you are within her caravan.
Tea on the stove. Don't worry. Not too poisonous.
Hell yeah.
Do you have some tea?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Do I have some tea?
The tea smells like some floral bouquet. Difficult to pin exactly what combination, but it has a definite sweet aroma to it. And anyone that wishes can partake.
I-
Do I smell anything familiar in it?
I would say you might recognise a couple of flowers within their god, but a fairly common concoction. Perhaps a more dated recipe. I'll say it rings a bell as something that you might have had many, many moons ago, but difficult to pin down the exact recipe. But at least you would be confident of it being some sort of floral tea.
Okay, floral stuff. Seems all right.
Tastes nice.
I'll wait until everybody else has drank some before I touch
like a smart lord.
it. Yeah.
I'll drink some.
I've
I
already
know.
been
I know
cursed.
what my place in the world is.
I will ask, who's having tea?
Lazarus.
Yeah.
Lazarus, Yodicus, Yodbert, can you make me a challenging endurance test, please?
No.
Oh,
You all feel
Except me.
absolutely fucking fine because it's just tea.
Wimps.
Tastes all right. It's absolutely fine.
It's quite enjoyable, Sighart, if you would like some.
I just drank my flask and put it back in my breast pocket.
so I'm very curious, Sigurd, how you managed to collect the only gypsy I've met that's harder to read than an assassin at the old man's cult.
She's much older than you give her credit for, regardless of
beginning
her
to see
physical
that.
appearance.
Yeah, I thought she looked familiar.
You know her.
What? Oh, I don't know. She looks familiar somehow.
That's not encouraging. Half the people you know are unpleasant and the other half are dead.
Yeah,
hey,
well,
hey. Gilly's okay in this. It's kind of my fault that she got younger.
From your
Well,
sides is a scream from the next caravan. Particularly loud.
from what side?
Lazarus?
What side? Outside?
Perhaps the caravan to your side. And the next one
Stand up.
along.
Stand up, go outside.
Yes, I stand up and go outside.
Yeah.
I just follow suit.
Okay. You quickly get up and move outside the caravan to just make sure all is okay. And Gilly is stepping outside from a caravan with a gentleman who is clutching onto his hand and appears to be missing 2 fingers. She's handing him a rag, and he is stepping in the other direction. And she's walking towards you with a cloth in her hand that is red and bloodied. Oh, darlings. Oh, calm your nerves. Come on. Tea's getting cold.
I
Come
haven't
on.
left. I'm still sitting in the exact same spot.
Gilda will be the first to come back in then. Hello, darling. Enjoying the tea? Puts a bloodied rag on the table.
What the hell was that about?
Smells lovely. Gilda.
Should I get a poultice later for him?
Sure, if you like. Poor gentleman saw a wyvern. So he says. Bad luck, don't you know? Believe the only way to cure the curse was to, well, cut it out of him.
That's the
What?
biggest load of bullshit I've ever heard.
You've heard the tale, Gospert. You don't believe it, but you've heard the tale. Yes. Load of hogwash, but one has to keep up appearances.
I guess. Yeah.
Anyway, Gilda. Like, thank you again for your help.
More than welcome.
I wish I could thank your giant knight friend in person. Is he around?
No, sorry. He's gone for a little bit. Has some things to do. You killed Theodosius, which has made him very happy. Well, as happy as he can be anyway, but I'm sure he will come visit.
I would very much like to meet him.
I'm
His family's not unknown to me.
Yes, I'm sure. Tell me, do you say his family?
Well, it's heraldry and all that. It's not uncommon to unknown to me.
What a keen eye you have, darling.
Well, we all have our own talents.
Indeed we do.
Anyway,
So,
Gilda,
what can I do to help?
I've heard some disturbing news that the body of the giant is not in the valley where it fell. And it's an awfully big creature to just be dragged off into the woods by wild animals.
It wasn't dragged off, darling.
Yeah. This is something that's going to bring undue attention to us because they know that we slayed it, took its hand, and yet it's not there.
The question is, darling.
She sort of steeples her fingers and rests her chin on while looking at you with a very sweet grin on her face.
How much do you trust me?
Oh, Gilda, some days I trust you implicitly, and other days I just don't know, but
Be careful with the former.
please tell me. Yeah.
The giant's dead, and
Not
that's
gonna
all you
trust
need to
anyone.
know, darling. It's no longer there.
Well,
And
the investigators that went to go look for it definitely said it wasn't there.
perhaps the wolves ate it.
That's big wolves.
Very.
Yeah. You're not going to tell us anything else.
Of course not, darling. It's not fun.
Of course not.
Oh, you'll figure it all out.
Yeah.
Just,
You
Between
might need a
migraines.
better story if the Templars of Sigmar come knocking.
oh, don't worry, darling. They'll be behaved as they should be. Got friends, at least.
Yeah.
Got myself a Lord
Took them a
Fancy
necromancer.
Pants right here.
And jumps up to sit on Sighard's lap.
My own little Lord. Absolutely wonderful. Delighted to be part of the
Well.
community.
Yodicus, are you thinking about running away?
No, I'm trying to figure out if I can keep a straight face while she's giving him a lap dance.
Yeah. You can. You can. But, yeah, she is perhaps a little bit flirtatious in her manner, Sighard. And her silk garments, I will say... Where's Sighard's hands right now? Session 1, getting spicy. Let's go.
Yeah, well,
Is
I would
he
have imagined
like
that they were steepling my forehead, but
just on top of his head,
like
like
at least my
help?
well, my right. Well, beforehand, I was rubbing my eyebrow, like between like the brow, and my, the bridge of my, like I'm getting a migraine kind of thing.
Gotcha.
But I would imagine if there's no arms on the chairs and it was just on my lap.
Okay. She basically gives you a little flirtatious wriggle before getting back up.
All will be fine, darlings, don't worry. Any problems, just talk to myself and keep an eye out for the dead.
Oh, undead too.
She looks over towards Godbert at this
Dead
time.
or undead? Because
Never you mind, son.
orcs
Just
and
grown-ups are talking here. Just see, just
rat
quiet.
people and undead and a wyvern and a ghost in the woods.
Oh,
Oh,
don't worry, I wouldn't worry about
Missing
that.
giant body.
Probably wasn't a wyvern, just a man who'd had too much to drink.
Yeah.
But still,
And the Templars of Sigmar tell us that there's no such thing as rat people underground.
She'll put a finger on her lips at that point.
best not talk about the beastman, darling.
Yeah. I know.
Godbert, you say your name was?
Yes.
Can you roll me a intuition check, Godbert? This will be a versus.
I'm still stuck on mythical rat men.
The hell is a mythical rat man?
Ooh.
Has anything that I've said today
Oof.
surprised you?
18s.
I mean, I'm used to you complaining and
There's some
everything,
red.
but
Very difficult to be surprised, darling, when you've seen what I have. Godbert. I would suggest, perhaps, keeping an eye open.
That goes without saying.
Yes. The dead are not resting quite so well recently. I'll leave it to your expertise.
Figured as much.
I thought the necromancer was gone.
Oh, he's brown bread. Watched him burn myself. Made quite the squeal. Funny the noise
How
they
do you
make when they
squeal
don't have a
without-
tongue.
Yeah. I'm sure it was pleasant.
Worship the dead, but still squeal when they burn.
Good. I turned my head towards that curtain where that person was before
Mm-hmm.
when I first went in there,
Yep.
and then looked back at Gilda.
Looking for my friend, darling.
Yeah, I am. Just like to know who's around.
He'll be quite hard to find, darling.
That's both comforting and unsettling.
Absolutely.
Anyway, Gilda, there's some people around town who would like to thank you and your people.
Marvelous. Oh,
Is there any type of festival, feast day that you...
oh, Flattery will get you everywhere, darling. I will have a think on it. Some sort of celebration. Sounds wonderful. Well, you've given me lots to think about, darling. Ah, Godbert,
Yes.
talk to the Grey Caps, will you, darling? See what they have to say.
My maybe a good idea, yeah.
Full of them, darling. Full of them I am.
You'd know it as a type of mushroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can. That's what I was like. Great caps. What the?
So,
All right, Gilbert.
Gillies sort of ushers you all out.
Ah, Lazarus, just before you go. We'll talk
Yes.
soon.
Okay.
Very exciting news for you and your lover.
Okay. Now I'm curious.
Yes, soon, darling.
I
Don't
just
worry.
keep shaking my head and walking.
I follow him out, muttering to myself about rat men.
Right. Now we have but minutes left. And there was one pressing matter that needed to be done before day's end. Lazarus.
Yes.
There is a man within town that is, at least according to Yarla, due to pass imminently, who is in need of some sort of respite.
I was looking at the book with all the herbs and stuff. Unless you have something that you can make up, there's a sleeping potion I can make him.
That would do. We can say that within the assortment of goods within your, let's say, girlfriend's workshop, there's enough to make it.
So should I roll?
Set you
for
back a
this?
couple of pennies in profits, but sure, make me an average roll. For Apo. Takes you a little bit of time, but you concoct a sleeping potion.
Lazarus, if you do not mind, I would like to accompany you on the seeing off of this poor fellow.
Sure, if you wish. Where is this gentleman located?
Effectively, well, I tell you what, seeing as now I have dragging privileges back, we shall wave goodbye to our two null knights and just sort of stick you in the midst of town.
Okay.
There is a particularly dark and grim building with relatively few lights within, and a door that is slightly ajar. Something not uncommon at this time of late afternoon.
I'd knock.
All right, you fancy coming in?
And I walk on in.
Oh, hello. Yarla sent you, did she?
Yes, ma'am.
She said she'd send help. It's my father.
Points over to a man on the bed in the side of the room who, though covered in an animal skin, has a sticky sweat about his forehead and skin, and seems to be gasping a little bit for breath. I would say not a particularly old man by your standards, Godbert, perhaps 40 or so.
Can I roll lore medicine?
You certainly can.
Oop. I have no idea.
No. Will we use any rerolls today? I'm not pushing you to.
Well, I think I would.
Could save them for your endeavour table. You might need it, darling.
That's true. But I have 3.
You do have 3. You don't have
But
to
I'm-
pass it.
Bert,
Well, it's not letting me reroll it.
meanwhile,
Unless I wanna
Bert, yeah, go ahead. But meanwhile,
to
Bert
manually
mumbles
put it back in.
something and rubs his eyes.
There we go.
Okay. What are you up to, Bert?
And I'm going to reroll that as well.
Lazarus.
Yes. Yes.
It is difficult to say precisely what is afflicting this man. Could be simple fever that is too much for someone to handle. Certainly something not uncommon. Although there is, I would say, no degree of confidence on your part as to any formal diagnosis. Godbert? You rub your eyes for a moment, and after releasing your hands from your face, there is a cloudiness to your vision for a moment. A cloudiness that you assume is just the cataracts getting in the way again. Another rub, and they are still there. Beneath the individual are reaching from the floorboards a few hands. And I would say that this is not something that you have never seen before, although there is something slightly different about it. It is usual for spirits at times, for those that are not quite past, to wait for their loved ones before passing through, but these gestures with the hand are not welcoming, but more vicious. Reaching for this individual, rather than reaching for this individual out of some sense of need, rather than any sense of caring. Something that strikes you as strange, at least. And unsettling.
Unsettling indeed.
Another
I'm
rub?
afraid. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I would say another rub or two, and they're gone. Just as if it was a cataract all along. Though you know it wasn't.
I'm afraid there's nothing we can do at this moment. It's beyond our reach.
I do have something that'll help him sleep. You can have it. And I hand her the drought.
The lady looks resigned and saddened, but also grateful for what you've just given her. Offers to exchange some coin to you. A few brass pennies is all she has, I think 4.
I'll take 2.
She's grateful for the discount, given circumstances, and turns her attention toward her father.
I guess I'd leave at that point.
I assume the two of you leave the building, she is trying to offer the sleeping potion that will likely be a final resting potion to the gentleman within his bed. Any final remarks from Godbert?
Do you have something? Do you have someone to comfort you? You want us to stay?
To the first question she nods, but tearing slightly, does not speak. And to the second she shakes her head and sort of tries to brave a smile as the two of you turn to leave.
I'll be with you.
And she chokes as she struggles to get a word out of her throat, seemingly clamping up. And that is a joyous point to end the session, I believe. I'm not sure what Godbert will share with Lazarus as to what the hell is happening, but I'm really excited to roll the Endeavour table.
Yeah.
So, because we've got loads of things on there. Sorry, I was playing around with music today. So let's do one at a time. One at a time. We need to do one at a time. One at a time. One at a time. Who's going to volunteer to go first?
I might as well bite the bullet.
Okay. And someone needs to roll for the cheeky halfling that's buggered off to work. I'm going to roll for him, just because I never get to do this, so I'm really excited to. Can I put some troll fighting music on? Bear with me 1 second. I need something far more joyous for this. We've got the mob. We'll put a rowdy mob on for the moment. Burn the witch! Burn the witch! Right, there we go. All right, brave knight. Roll away. Oh, it's the Christmas music, isn't it? Used within the town as there is a band of goblin pirates. You're fucking kidding me. How?
Oh, so you're going to make me burn a fortune point to re-roll this?
You have already had it in the campaign, so you can use a fortune point to re-roll it if you wish. Look, seriously, there is well over 150 options now.
And I have hit 133 how many times?
Good lord. Are you re-rolling it?
I'm gonna have. Let me see if
Are you gonna re-roll it into a witch hunter? That's incredible.
Don't tempt me. This table does have, I will admit, I can see it. It does have some 200 and something things on it.
Yeah, we're on a D250, although many of them are 3%. So, but it's up to you. There are already Rivergits there.
I don't want that depressed man to have more people to be depressed about. I'll burn the fate. Let's just see what happens.
Not a fate. You can use a fortune.
A fortune.
You can use a fortune. A passing merchant tells you a tale of a recent incident within Bogenhafen. One of the most respectful lawyers of the land was trying to prove that a man had accidentally shot himself and had not been murdered, when he accidentally shot himself while demonstrating his theory. He died of his wounds, but did win the case.
Hell of a lawyer.
Fantastic.
Dedicated to his job to the end.
That is what we call dedication.
Now that may not seem plot relevant, but mark my words, the big bad of this session will somehow... No, I'm not making any promises there.
Resurrect.
Who's volunteering next?
Yep, sure.
Go on, Yodicus. Not Yodicus. You're Godbert. J's and G's. Stragani gypsies pass through the town. Dancers, singers, and entertainers.
No kidding.
Okay, how about the Stragani that are in town have a small festival, Godbert?
Yep.
And we can figure out what you do with them. You can get up to some sort of mischief for one endeavour with them.
Yep.
Marvellous.
Certainly want to meet up with Gilda without the rest of the party. So.
Yes, I feel that is a conversation we must have. On that note, will Godbert go grey cap picking soon?
Yep.
Good. I think we can briefly say this now. There is a strange tint to them, Godbert. As you look down on them on the floor, and I will say you have seen similar mushrooms before. There is a very, very faint noise that you can hear from them.
Singing mushrooms.
Not singing. But as you pluck one and raise it to your ear, you can hear very soft, whining cry. As the flat cap mushroom held firmly to your ear lets out a high-pitched, hissing sob.
Even the mushrooms in this town are depressed.
Even the mushrooms in this town are having a shit day right now. What the hell does that mean? I know. But I would hope so. So, who's up next? Rolf. Rolf's dead. Lazarus. A madman came to town, good lord, speaking about strange mutant-like rats living under one of the cities he had recently travelled to. Various citizens started to throw vegetables. Will you join the stoning, or attempt to quell the mob and seek further clarification?
I think I'd join.
Okay, can you make me... Do you have, like, a ballistic skill?
Yeah.
Okay, make me a roll, please. Do you, like, ranged anything that's appropriate? I'd assume you don't shoot them with your bow. I mean, ratmen, it's a pretty dumb theory.
I haven't seen them.
They're not real. You get him right in the chest. What do you throw at him? What vegetable?
Rotten tomato.
Rotten tomato. Tomato. I'll say tomato. I'll humour you. A beautiful squelching noise erupts. That I will say the man quickly passes out of the town and heads elsewhere, having tried to prophetically warn of the rat rodent overlords currently ruling a large portion of Reichland. And we move to Sicard.
I swear to God, if you roll River Gets.
Yeah.
Or a troll.
Yeah, wow. Well, you can't roll River Gets because they've now been removed because we've rolled them once. So I've now done a thing where you can't roll it more than once. Passing trader with food cart passes through your town. They offer 2 thrushes for a single penny, or a sheep's feet for 2 pennies. Should keep you busy for next session. Sicard, would you like to indulge in either treat?
What are thrushes?
2 small birds roasted on a stick.
Yeah, I'll do the thrushes. It sounds like quail or something. Sure.
Exactly. And not too far from. Perhaps more of like a middle class version, but sure.
Yeah.
I will say next
Better
session.
than anything we find in town right now.
Not that they'll keep for 2 weeks, but you can either eat them now and have a lovely nom nom nom, or they may even keep
They
for
said
next
they should
session.
Keep for the next session.
Well, I'm just saying you can eat them now if you like, or you can keep them.
I'll probably just.
I mean, that's what food is for, right?
I'm not having pocket food.
And now
It's
your
not like bacon.
GM is, yeah, nobles don't do pocket food. Oi, you spilled my pint. A petty argument in the local area has developed into good lord, into a feud. The GM decides who you offended, so I offended myself, and how this person will not pass up an opportunity for petty revenge.
And
Probably
two arguing
during next adventure. Okay. Wow, that's hilarious. Yes.
No, you haven't.
Yes. No, you haven't.
It's either the fisherman
No,
or
I didn't.
the other halfling.
No, it's not. Absolutely. Okay, brilliant. So I look forward to the next adventure being interrupted, which will be largely with other players, by
That's an argument.
two idiots
That's a
arguing.
feud. That's a feud between Wilfred and somebody else.
Could be.
Right.
I mean, it could
No,
be.
it just-
Decides who you offended.
Could be, but
It could be. We'll see what the GM comes up
GM
with.
decides who-
And I will terrorize my players. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've enjoyed today. It was a little bit of just figuring out stuff about town, giving people a bit of an idea as to what the hell they might want to do in future. Any immediate thoughts by the players? Give you each a couple sentences. Any particular sort of things going through your brains? Let's check in with Achaidh. What's going on?
Oh, lots of stuff to do and no information to go on, or money. So yeah, lots of stuff to do.
Standard.
Good times.
Sounds good. Godbert, how do
Glad
you...
we're back.
Yeah, nice to be back. Godbert, how do you feel about mushrooms?
yeah, he's deciding whether or not to gobble them up and take them with him to investigate something about them. But
Very good
probably
idea.
we'll just gobble them up.
Probably just eat them all. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
Other than that, he's going about town, seeing if he can see things like more things like the creepy thing he saw today.
Off to the woods, perhaps.
Yep.
Lazarus, what's cooking?
Thinking about Gilly and then the giant. Did the giant actually become like a necromancer puppet?
Do you have an undead giant to deal with this campaign? Would I do
Yeah.
that? That would just be memes, right?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
terrible.
One-handed.
It's the sequel battle.
It would just be memes. Who's
They
looking
did
for
have a-
Rex? Wow, that's weird. Anyway, science.
They did have a lot of large quantity of food delivered, so
Mm,
maybe they ate it.
word. Yodicus, how was your first session?
I now know what an overworked bureaucrat feels like.
Yes. Try being Thorg, though, for a day. Achaidh, sorry, for those that aren't in the know. But, I mean, you're pretty much in it with him now.
Both.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm the one that has to actually do the paperwork. He
Mm.
just gets to put upon. I actually have to fill out the paperwork for him.
I have a feeling from now, all instances of dealing with poor people will be delegated.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's me and Fernando. I think are going to be doing an awful lot of this.
No, it's not. No. I think we'll call it there, you lovely people. Thank you for viewing, thank you for watching, thank you for commenting, and on that note, make sure to like and subscribe and share the video with others, because obviously we want to try and grow a channel and share this with other Warhammer fans, because, it's not terrible. And, there's memes, but there's also some... Bring all the friends, Make sure you leave a comment as well at the end of this, because if you leave a comment, you might have an NPC named after you. We haven't made a big hoo-ha about all of them just yet, but a lot of these NPCs, Hello, Jeff. How's it going? Hello, Bart. Everyone walks straight past the fanatic today. Wow. Okay, we might get back to him in future. Yeah. Although, I mean, and I will say I'm really sorry to Dave the Great about your silent sex slave. You're effectively Mr. Slave, and I'm so sorry. But,
At least you've got Sigmar inside of you.
and on that note, I will see you all next week. Take care.
Bye bye.